Let's get this draft started, baby.
All
30-second
right,
clock. I'm on the clock right now. I gotta turn this off, bro. Turn that sound off.
I see you got the number 1 slot.
I do got the number 1 slot. There's a
Is
new
that's your favorite spot to choose from?
There's a new number 1 on my board, baby. Bijan Robinson with the first pick, baby. A new number 1 on my board.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
You think that's crazy? You think that's
Hell
crazy?
yeah. I think that's more than crazy, bro.
Listen, now I think all the top like 8 picks, I really like all those players. I'm not gonna lie, like Tyreek, CMC, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you name it, Jettas. I like all these picks, right? But when I look at who has the most upside, right? In this offense, they play on turf. They just got a new quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Zach Robinson, the offense coordinator, is from the Rams tree, the Sean McVay tree, so we know how he likes to use his running backs. Yeah. And all the offseason hype has been, we got to use this guy as CMC. We have to get this guy the football. Raheem Morris has come out and said that. So for me, I'm looking at Bijan Robinson as a player. I'm like, it's all upside. We saw the floor last year, which was like RB 13, something like that. That was the floor for Bijan Robinson. He could hit 2,000 yards rushing this year. He could hit 15 touchdowns this year. I don't see any of that out of the realm of possibility when it comes to Bijan. So for me, I think the upside is way too much to pass on right now.
Nah, man. I think Bijan at the 101 is crazy, bruh. I mean, if they're saying we got to use him as CMC, if the upside is CMC, why not just take CMC at the 101? Like, what you think he's going to finish higher than him? You think he's going to finish better than him?
So CMC to me, like obviously they're talking about getting his workload down a little bit. You drafted Ricky Pearsall in case Brandon Ayuk gets traded, or in case you want to go through Brock Purdy a little bit, see what he has heading into a contract year. I think they leaned on McCaffrey heavily last year, and this is a player who typically has been hurt. Like we know McCaffrey's been hurt. He's had 2 back-to-back healthy seasons. So if you want to bet on another healthy season as he gets another year older, that's fine. I'm cool with it. But I think you're missing out on a little bit of the upside that Bijan Robinson is in the prospect that he was. Like he was compared to Saquon Barkley, a generational prospect at running back. And imagine that getting CMC wasn't a generational prospect. He was a good prospect, not generational. Bijan is a generational prospect getting a CMC workload. I think that's the upside I want to see, especially if that thing is their light ass schedule. They have a light schedule this year, the Falcons do.
They do. They do got a really good offensive line. They do got a really underrated defense, so it could be really good for him. In my opinion, he's just not that superstar. And you mentioned he's elite. He is a superstar, but damn, bro. Like if you got people who have done it before and proven they're doing it, that's just crazy. It's a good.
He proved it last year, though. He proved it. Like I mean, with Arthur Smith, it's not like he didn't prove it on the field. It's not like we were questioning, man, is he really a good running back? Can he get the job done? We were questioning Arthur Smith, like, why are you not giving this dude the football more? That's what we were questioning. So if we up the touches, we get less Tyler Algier, we get more Bijan Robinson, especially in the red zone. Why wouldn't we want to see that? Like, why wouldn't we want to draft that? To me, I just think it's clear.
I don't think it's clear.
The upside is clear. This could be, I mean, we're talking probably number 1 player in football this year if everything go right. Thanks for all the content, bud. All your fans appreciate it. And you bring us joy to us fantasy DJs. You know, it's funny. This is around the time of year where I got to tell people, oh, I don't like your favorite player. Oh, I think you're drafting this guy too early. And this is when all the hate starts to come in. So if you notice the chat gets like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He don't know football, blah, blah, blah. I get this every year. Don't worry about it. But I appreciate that love. I love to see that more than anything, man. Get your lineups lined up. No theme song today, man. We just got right into it. What's up, Justin? Hope it's been a good week. Christopher, appreciate you, dog. Are you letting people join the mock? We may do another one after this, but for right now, it's going to be through the Discord. I might post another one to the chat.
You see back-to-back Devontae Adams and Brandon Ayuk. Ooh, that's spicy.
Brandon Ayuk, man, there've been a little bit of chatter about him going to the Raiders, bro. Talk to me about this whole Brandon Ayuk thing in your eyes,
bro. I mean, he asked for a trade yesterday. To me, when that happened, it's just more of like, oh, we've seen all this before with Debo. Debo was kind of going at it on 10, talking about, oh, the Niners don't like me. Oh, I'm out of here, throwing parties, talking about I'm getting traded, whoopty whoop whoop. I think it's the same thing, right? But a lot of the trade talk was with like, Washington and with Pittsburgh. But not too long ago, it popped up. The Raiders are interested in that swap, Devontae Adams and Brandon Ayuk. If I'm the Niners and I'm looking at that, I think that's a done deal, bruh. I think that's a done deal. Yeah, you
Done
got
deal?
Ayuk, done deal. Ayuk, premier route runner, younger, but look, our window is it's closing. You know what I'm saying? You got an alpha in Adams, and he can do everything Ayuk could do, just a little bit better. You may not have him for longer, but think about that team. You got Kittle, you got CMC, you got Debo, you got Devontae Adams. Who I'm talking about single coverage all the way around, bruh. Purdy is eating up, bruh.
The only thing I got concerns about with that is Devontae would Devontae, I don't know if he has a no trade clause or anything. That would be something to look at. I think he can no trade, like if he doesn't want to go to the Niners. It would be good for winning football and winning a Super Bowl. But I also think Devontae Adams cares about like his numbers and his place all the time. And if you go to a team like the Niners, he's going to be limited. Like they're not going to give him the amount of targets that he's going to want to see on a game-to-game basis. That's just not what Shanahan's going to do. Like they're going to use Debo. They're going to use CMC in the red zone. George Kittle's going to eat. And so Brock Purdy, yes, he'll be slinging it, but that's not going to be the volume that Devontae Adams wants. So you go to, and he's come out and said he only wants to be with Aaron Rodgers if he leaves the Raiders. Like he's kind of come out and said that. So it's kind of interesting. He said that on Shannon Sharp. I think he had I don't know, was it with Shannon Sharp? I want to say it was Shannon Sharp that was interviewing him, and he said that. So he's at some point, Devontae Adams, who's got a lot of criticism over the last couple of days because all his crying he's been doing in the receiver show came out, and he's been complaining the whole season. At some point, he's just got to own the fact that either you want a championship or you want to play with a great quarterback. Like you can't have it all at 32.
Yeah, he has talked a lot about his numbers, but if you're talking about like efficiency, what Ayuk had 73 catches, 1,300 yards.
On
I
like
think that's
105 targets, bro.
100, bruh. I'm talking about like if you put Devontae Adams in that role, yeah, and you know what I'm saying. It just is what it is. Like you get a stud player like that.
Yeah,
they're gonna feed him. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get him what he wants. They're gonna get him his numbers.
Yeah, drop your thoughts on Brandon Ayuk, man. Thoughts on DeAndre Swift this year? I've talked about him. I think he's kind of a meh pick. Like if he's there for your RB3, I'm not really feeling him in this Bears offense, and I think he's going to look a lot more how he did in Detroit than how he did in Philly. You on the same page?
You think he's going to look a lot more like he did in Detroit than he did in Philly?
Yeah, a little more inconsistent. He got the bag. Like he was playing for a contract last year. And, he went to Philly. Yeah, DeAndre Swift. I feel like he's going to kind of look more like he did in Detroit, a little inconsistent.
I would say, yeah. I mean, the thing is, they got a lot of people there, right? I mean, they got the names aren't the best, but they got a few people in there that are going to be. It looks like they're going to be sharing the rock. If they were to trade one of them, then I think you may have some legs to stand on.
It's your pick, and we know you run up to the end of the clock. So make your pick, homie.
Damn.
Who is that guy with you? His name's Pravati. He's part of the Fantasy Gods, and yeah, man, he's gonna be on the show quite frequently. So get to know him.
Yeah, get to know me, man. I'm the one who wins the leagues.
What's good? What's going on, man? Salute, Jay Hen Anthony. What's popping? Didn't see the link. Is this an open mock? If you want to get first access to the links, it'll have to be in the Discord. That's where I'm going to send them out first, and then I'll send them to the stream as well. So whoever gets it first. It'll be going to the Discord. The Discord link is in the description of this video or in any of my videos. Start bench cut. These food, bro. These food ones. Chicken and waffles, fish tacos, or gyros. I probably put the gyros in the bag. Fish tacos. Chicken and waffles can start for me. I ain't really tripping. It's food at the end of the day. It's food, bro.
I think gyros are underrated, bro.
They are underrated. Mediterranean food in general is a little underrated.
Yeah. All
right, I'm up. I got these back-to-back picks, so I appreciate you taking Alvin Kamara right before I was about to pick, big dog. You knew that was going to be my fucking pick. All right.
Nico's what up?
So I'm going to continue. I'm going to get the last, I think, elite running back here in Kenneth Walker. And then I'm going to go receiver as well. And I'm really on board with getting George Pickens this early, bro. I think he's a steal where he's going right now. I love this setup right now.
You notice that there's 3 teams that went wide receiver heavy.
Yeah.
3 straight. So
We're going to see what these running backs look like on teams.
yeah.
I think there's so much value early on with running back. Like, I think you got to at least get one in the first couple rounds, but I want to see what zero RB, what the teams look like with zero RB coming out of this draft. I really like getting at least one running back before. This is kind of the cutoff to me, like Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker, because after that, it's like James Conner, Zamir White, Najee Harris, Ramondre Stevenson. So there's going to be some value there. It's just, I think it's a little bit more risky.
I don't think so. I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's too bad to go that route. Um, because especially in redraft, because you got guys like who are slept on, like James Conner. Yeah, he's going to get hurt or he's been injury prone. Same thing with Aaron Jones. But while they're in, they produce, bro. While they're in,
Yeah.
they're like 16, 17 points per game. So, if you could get those guys later in a zero RB, I think that's perfect, man.
I ain't mad at it. What's good, Jahan? Ja, what's popping, bro? Appreciate you as always. Normalize Bijan going one. No, I'm not, because I'm gonna say it, and that's gonna be my take. That's gonna be my take. But I want to get Bijan number one, so I'm not gonna normalize it. If I can get Bijan at 6 or 7 or 8, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'm not gonna normalize Bijan going number one. I will say it with my chest, and that's you guys are always gonna get my authentic takes. But I'm not gonna. Let's not normalize it. Let me get him at pick number 5 now. Let me get him at pick number 7. Like, let Bijan fall to me this year. I'll take that instead of having to draft, instead of getting the number 1 pick. But I think he could be the best player in this draft or in this season. I would draft Ladd McConkey as my wide receiver 2 personally with confidence. I'm not sure Ladd McConkey would be a wide receiver 2 if you did a dynasty startup with only rookies.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm good off the young lad.
Young lad. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I do not know.
Last year, I would have never imagined Jahan picking Bijan at the 101. I wouldn't have last year. Like, every year is different. Pete, talk to me about this, bro, because I get this a lot too. People think like, oh, you hated on this player last year, so now you must hate this player in general. I'm like, Bijan is fucking dope. I just hated the fact he was going as a top 3 running back last year when we got closer to the drafts, man. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Are you like that too, where one year you might like a player, the next year you may not, etc.?
Oh, I mean, I change my values on players. Like, I don't like hate players just to hate players or love players just to love players. If I'm hating on a player and they prove me wrong, I'm gonna adapt. If I am die hard on a player, like if I'm die hard on a player, like for example, Diggs. Like, I was the biggest Diggs fan. You know that. I was grabbing Diggs in every league. He burnt me 2 years in a row. You know what I'm saying? 2 years in a row in the playoffs. And Jay, I know you remember that because he put up like what 2-3 points in our fantasy championship, and you smoked me.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Kincaid couldn't make it back, bro. He couldn't make it back.
Your TE1.
Damn. All right, Slime. All right, that's cool. But no, to answer your question, bro, no. I mean, I agree with you last year and how you're changing your take from Bijan to how you weren't as high on him last year. Last year, he had all the hype. Everybody's drafting him at his ceiling.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with Marvin Harrison this year.
Young Marv. They're doing it this year again.
Top 10 redraft. Come on, man. Come on.
I don't get it, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me, it's like, would I take Marvin over Olave? Nah, I don't know. Would I take Marvin over Nico Collins? That's where it gets it. But people are taking him over Devontae Adams, and I think that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. No, the thing is, it's like, I don't think me and him, have a pretty good back and forth because he likes the younger players, right? So I always give him shit for taking like rookies and younger players, but it's good to be able to like not have attachment to players. You have attachment to value and ADP. That's my attachment. When I feel like a player is a good value, I talked about it before. All these players are great players. The players we're taking right now are elite for a reason. There's a reason we're taking them in fantasy. And everybody at the right price can be had. I'll trade them for the right price. I'll draft him for the right price. That's how your boy is, man. What does your guest think of Chris Olave? So I've been, notorious Chris Olave hater. How you feeling about his value this year?
Well, they got the play caller from the Niners over there, right? Like an offensive, like their offensive coordinators. He comes from the Niners tree,
yeah,
right?
So they changed their offensive coordinator, so it's gonna be, it could be up for him.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've never been the highest Olave guy. I like guys with more touchdown upside. He's got the deep ball and he can be a PPR guy. I think he's like a top. I mean, he's one of those top 15 guys in my opinion. That I'm just not just he just ain't a P guy.
Yeah, there ain't no upside. Like, I mean, do you think he was what 80 catches last year, 85 catches? I don't really see him getting like 170, 160 targets and being like a 100 catch guy. I don't see him being like a 10 touchdown guy. He kind of just reminds me of like, maybe he goes up yardage wise. He was like 1,100 yards last year. Maybe he sees 1,200 yards, but like, I don't really see a lot of upside for Chris Olave. And I think that's
Yeah,
that's my take on it. At least I don't know about
yeah.
you.
Like Chris Olave to me would be like comparable to like a DJ Moore, right? Serviceable. I wouldn't want him as my wide receiver one. I would be ecstatic if he's my wide receiver three, but if he's my wide receiver two, then it's more of like a balanced team. So I don't know if that makes sense, but he's just not somebody I'm excited about. He can produce, but
Yeah.
that's just where your boy's at, man.
I ain't mad at that. Dubs in the chat, what's good, Andy? He said, how do you feel about Gibbs in PPR and where would you draft him in full PPR? I think in PPR, I like Gibbs, man. For me, his pass catching is probably going to be elite. He's going to be one of those guys that potentially gets 80 to 100 catches. I think I really see that out of him in this offense. So the check down god, the guy who's going to be able to get open in space. I think they're going to use Montgomery. They're going to try to use him a little bit more between the tackles, but Gibbs he's got elite potential as well. Like top 3 upside, but I still like the 5 I have ranked ahead of him.
Yeah, Gibbs upside is crazy to me because like it's not only the catches. I don't see him getting 100 catches. I could see him
That's a
getting,
lot.
you know what
That's
I
a
mean?
lot.
Yeah, I could see him getting like 70 catches, 80 catches, maybe tops. But the fact that they when they're inside the 10, they're running like twice as much as the next team, or inside the 5 rather. That right there speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Dan Campbell, man, notorious for running in the red zone. It kind of reminds me of
yeah,
like Austin Eckler. I'm not gonna lie, Alvin Kamara. When we're seeing those like heavy PPR seasons, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Cade, what's
yeah,
good?
yeah,
What was the
yeah.
thinking behind Tyreek dropping from 1 to 4 though instead of 2? Oh, good question. So I dropped recently. I came out with some new rankings, and I dropped
Oh, okay.
Tyreek Hill down a lot, man. I had him as my number 1 player, and it's just evaluations of schedules, right? Schedules matter in fantasy, and I think before I had a chance to like really dive into the schedule, especially the fantasy playoff schedule. I had Tyreek pretty high, and when you look at those last 3 games and that fantasy playoff, week 17 for your fantasy championship, that's in Cleveland. I'm good off Tyreek, especially knowing how they played down the stretch last year. So I don't mind drafting Tyreek Hill. Like if he's there 2, 3, 4, I don't mind drafting him. But to me, I'm looking at the upside of a full season and what they're going to provide down the stretch. I'd rather take CeeDee Lamb, rather take CMC, rather take Bijan.
Yeah, I don't
Provider's
know,
better
man.
than Tyler. I don't make the rules. Pete could hold his own, man. I'll say this, man. I played in a lot of leagues. Pete's probably my biggest competition. I'll say that. I played in a lot of leagues. He's probably my biggest competition. Even though
I'm
I
gonna
own
say,
him,
yeah.
he's still my biggest comp.
Whoa! I wouldn't say you own me. Come on, G. Come on. I was supposed to meet you in this shit last year. Somebody didn't make it. But I'm gonna tell you like
Yeah.
this. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. A lot of these, and if they're talking about Tyler from Pittsburgh, Tyler, the Steelers fan, Tyler.
Yeah, on TikTok.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's cool. He's cool. I would just say that a lot of these so-called analysts on TikTok, I think people are fall victim to over analyzing players. You know what I'm saying? Like it when it comes down to it, you just break it down to your tiers. And I don't want to hear no, oh, this guy's elite too. This guy's elite. No, you got elite, you got studs, you got really good. And you know what I'm saying? If you stay true to that, in my opinion, then you'll be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Whereas everybody's gonna be going for a lot of those guys who are really good, and they may feel just because of all the analysis in their head, all the stats and all the predictions and all this
Separation
other
and A
stuff.
dot and
Yeah,
yards
all
per
the
route run and
exactly. And like, oh, what this coordinator has potential for this guy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. If you're saying this goes back to my kind of like my Bijan analysis, if you're gonna compare Bijan to CMC and take Bijan over CMC because you think it's gonna be the next CMC, why not just take CMC? Right? There, in my opinion, there's a tier where CMC is at, and then there's another tier with everybody else. Or all the other
I
elite
see you try to
RBs,
put your
I
own
guess.
agenda up in there. I see you try to put your own agenda up in there. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at
No,
you, bro. I see you try. I see you try to put your own agenda in there, but I'm still. You're not overthinking it with Bijan. It's just there's nothing to really think about. I'm not using no numbers, no nothing like that. I think the problem with TikTok, the
yeah.
analysts, is that anybody can go get a stat and say that their guy is going to be the next
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying that like your analysis of Bijan is like what it's like what I'm talking about with those stat guys and whatnot.
Yeah, and
But
Tyler's not.
if
He's not a full stat guy, but
yeah, no,
you know,
Tyler's cool. I respect Tyler. I respect what he says. But like if you're telling me right now Bijan is head and shoulders above like Saquon in his new situation, that's something to debate. You know what I'm saying? I can see it going either way. You know what I mean? Like Saquon's elite. He was always held back by his trash ass team. Now he's on an elite team.
man,
Like the upside, if we're talking about upside, somebody who can challenge for the number one RB spot, in my opinion, if it's not CMC, I'm probably picking Saquon for that reason. Elite O line, elite weapons around him. Why the hell are they going to stack the box? They're always on the goal line. Like his touchdown upside is crazy. His PPR has always been crazy. His rush per carry is crazy. Like he's going to be and it's in the same division. He's going to be carving them the fuck up.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Saquon's gonna eat, and so I don't even mind. Like to be honest, when the news cracked, I was like, man, Saquon's probably top two. Like when I first
Yeah.
saw that, this was before. I think this was either right around the same time or right before Kirk Cousins got there. So for me, like I don't mind putting Saquon in the top three. Like you got Saquon in your top three, cool, bro. Like that don't affect me at all, man. I think Saquon's gonna have a hell of a year.
Yeah, I
Can you
think
rate Dynasty team? You want to rate this team, bro? Jaden
yeah.
Daniels, Kirk, Kamara, Barkley, Chubb, Singletary. You rate this team, bro, out of 10.
St. Brown, Jefferson, Mike Evans, Scary Terry, your Pitts. This ain't a bad team. I really like this team. I think you're really strong at wide receiver. Your top three is cool, and to have Scary Terry as a wide receiver four. People are sleeping on Chubb, bruh. People are sleeping on Chubb. Everybody's afraid, but did you see him squatting 500?
No, squatting 500 and being an elite running back on the field are two different things. We both
Yeah,
know that.
bro. We do know that, and I feel you on that. But to have to have your leg bent the way that it was coming back and squatting 500, all I'm saying is it's promising, bro. All I'm saying is it's promising. Um, but no, I really like this team. It's really strong. I do like Jaden Daniels' upside. And Kirk over there now. Yeah, bro. I like that. Kamara, Barkley. Yeah, Singletary. Don't sleep on him either. Nice
Out
little
of 10, you
sleeper
giving
running
that what,
back.
like an 8, 8.5?
I'll give it like an 8. I'll give it like an 8-7.
Yeah, 8.7. All right. Got screwed last year. Was able to get JJ and Bijan. Thought I stole a draft. Spoiler, I did not. That's the thing, man. You got to draft and you got to go through this whole process. You got to hope your players don't get hurt. You got to hope you're right on your analysis. So in-season management will always trump draft strategy.
So Marvin over Nico is a given. I'm a big Nico guy. I'm just make sure it's not my pick. I'm a huge Nico guy. It is now. I'm a huge Nico guy, man. And I think that the benchmark should be placed right there because Nico's an elite X wide receiver, runs a 4.3. What is he, like 6'3", tall, long, great offense. I think
I know you're gonna handle this pig, bro. You stay, you know what I'm saying? You stay
right,
yapping.
man, come on,
You stay yapping,
bro.
bro. You be yapping.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Super flex, right? Just so you know.
I mean, what you want me to do, man? I'm already picking my bench.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Start bench cut Wayne, Chance the Rapper, Amigos. This is the easiest start of all time. I don't even have to really start. Yeah, Wayne.
Wheezy.
Do we even got to talk about that part? And then the easiest bench of all time. Are we really Chance the Rapper, bro? This ain't even content. I never been listening to Amigos. I'll take that shit all day over Chance the Rapper, bro.
Yeah,
I can't name one Chance the Rapper lyric. I can't.
I think that what ended Chance the Rapper was that clip of Kanye just chewing his ass out when he was. He said, I don't know what he said, but I
Forgot.
think that ended his career, man.
Yeah.
You know, because he had
No
that
more
shot. I was like,
chances.
damn,
No more chances.
shit. He took his last chance with that.
Last. For schedules, do you think it really matters for Tyreek, or do you think it's more up to the pass rush on Tua? So
Oh,
that's a
yeah,
good point, right? You want to
yeah.
answer that one? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, I mean, I wanted to because you made a point about like in the last half of the last few games, he kind of fell short for a lot of people, and that's why you dropped him down. You forget, and you may not forget, but he was playing on an injured foot or an injured ankle those last few games. But I don't think that schedule really matters for Tyreek or any stud for that matter, right? Yeah, I mean, the weather may play a factor, but they're still going to make it a point, and he's crafty enough. And don't forget, he played in KC where the weather's crazy too.
Yeah.
But I think I think the fault of him last year was more so on that injury than it was weather. Because if he was 100%, bruh, he was eating.
It's not just, but it's not just him though. That's the thing. Like he did have what is it, the hammy he had, so you could blame it on the injury, but it's
No, it
also
was an ankle,
Tua.
right?
Like Tua down the
Yeah,
stretch doesn't play the
yeah.
same, right? So that was a really good point by Kate. Is like, do you think it's more up to Tua? They got down the stretch. The Dolphins have at Houston, right? Which great corners over there. He's gonna see a lot of Stingley. You got versus the Niners with the front that we have, and then
Yep.
you got at Cleveland in the fantasy playoffs with Denzel Ward in the weather. And I'm like, I'm cool off that, bro. I'm cool off putting myself in that situation now. Could he score in that? Yeah, but I think when you're dealing with other elite talent, like why do that when CeeDee Lamb's got cake of a schedule in the fantasy playoffs? You know,
Who's who's the schedule in the fantasy playoffs?
for Dallas, they got Carolina,
Hmm.
Tampa, and then at
Mm.
Philly is probably like the hardest of the games. But we seen him cook in Philly before,
Yeah, he could. They always cook. They always cook in Philly. So
so
yeah, yeah, a lot of that does fall obviously on Tua. I just think I think he was on a mission last year, and he was fucking, what I mean, he was eating last year, and I think he's gonna try to continue that, man. His the rest of his career is for his legacy, bro. You know, he already got the ships, or the ship, and
mhm.
if he's trying to get a 2,000 yard receiving season, I think that's something I want to be a part of.
I ain't mad at that. I feel like the production between Hill and Waddle could be closer than people think. Honestly, I could actually see them getting Jalen Waddle a little bit more involved this year too. I could really see that. It's just tough to kind of gauge because they, last year he was in and out the lineup, wasn't performing well. It's kind of hard to gauge some of those Miami guys outside of Tua because like their ADPs are weird. Like Jalen Waddle's going as a wide receiver 3. We've seen him be top 10 before, even with Tyreek, or top 15 before, even with Tyreek. We got Raheem Mostert down at like RB 29 or some shit when he was the
Yeah,
RB 5 last year. It makes no sense. Achan is the RB 7 right now in rankings, and like he
yeah,
hasn't proven shit. So
yeah,
I don't know. The Miami rankings are kind of weird to me. Who are the new
yeah. They
top 4 in your rankings? So top 4 in my rankings, I got Bijan number 1, CeeDee Lamb number 2, Christian McCaffrey number 3, Tyreek number 4. That's how I got it.
Where you got Saquon?
Saquon is right after those. Let me pull him up real quick, man. So you
Yeah,
guys are getting
and
it.
talk to us about where you got Jamar Chase.
So I got y'all,
I see
yo,
that post.
yeah. So I got this is kind of nasty work, but this is my top 10 right now. Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson at 5, St. Brown at 6, AJ Brown. See, AJ Brown at 7, Brees Hall number 8, Saquon number 9, Jamar Chase number 10.
Hmm. Jamar Chase number 10. Wow.
It is what it is, bro. The only thing I could do, like I'm flip flopping right now before I put him out officially on Friday between do I think Chase is over Saquon and Brees or do I think he's under Saquon and Brees? Like, would I want those because those two are damn near equal to me, Saquon and Brees. So would I
Mhm.
rather have Jamar Chase over those guys or underneath those guys? So I'm doing some final little touches on these rankings for the
So
top 10
give me again your 5 to 10.
So here it is again, one more time. One more
Yeah, I
time.
was picking. My bad.
No, you good. Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, then Jettas, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Brees Hall, Saquon, Jamar Chase.
Damn, that's crazy. So you got so talk to me about or AJ Brown over Jamar Chase.
A.J. Brown, since he's been with the Eagles, is like been the easiest 1,400 yards. Like that's what he does, right? And what we've seen Jamar Chase do that once his rookie year. So I'm thinking, like, why are we chasing? Like, if he had a 1,400 yard season, everybody's gonna be like, oh damn, Jamar Chase, man, he went off this year. He went off. Like he's elite. Him and Joe Burrow. And it's not like they still don't have T. Higgins there. For me, I'm just like, I look at A.J. Brown and what he's going to be able to do in that offense under Kellen Moore now too. Like, I just see him having very similar type year, if not better. So for me, it was an easy decision. Jamar Chase has been good. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. Joe Burrow hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yeah.
For me, AJ Brown, I feel like he's one of those older names, right? And everybody's like, oh, this is the time when we're gonna get more out of whatchamacallit, out of Jamar Chase. No, this is now the time where Jamar Chase is going to take over. He's going to become the elite wide receiver one. And I'm like, sometimes players are who we are. We did that for so long with AJ Brown, right? He's going to be the wide receiver one and all this shit. And then now we've put him here and we're tired of drafting AJ Brown. We're tired of drafting some of these guys that are in their prime. So that's why I got AJ Brown over Chase.
Yeah.
You think that's crazy? You think my top 10 is crazy or you think it's about right?
No, I mean it's I think you're with Jamar Chase, you're factoring in a lot of the injuries, right? Not only to him, but to Joe Burrow, which is fair. I do like AJ Brown this year. Let me just okay, that ain't me. I do like AJ Brown a lot this year. I just think Jamar Chase upside is crazy. Like, let's say if they're both fully healthy, then 1,400 should be a given, right? 1,400 should be a given if they're both fully healthy.
Okay.
I would still take the only change I'd probably do is swap those two, in my opinion, and probably put Brees Hall on the back end of it because I do like AJ Brown. I know you call me crazy, but I do like.
No. I don't mean you're crazy. I mean it's crazy because everybody has Bijan or Brees Hall as like the number 2, like almost consensus. Brees Hall is like the number 2 running back.
Yeah, I just think I think Brees Hall was at his ceiling last year, and we're talking about all elite players, so you know what I'm saying. It's you're pulling hairs or whatever, but I just think in this year with going back to AJ Brown, the fact that they got that new offensive coordinator who airs it out, I think it fits him. So I think he's going to have like a better year this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you.
But I do like St. Brown more than
a dog, bro.
I do like St. Brown way more than AJ Brown and Jamar Chase. So
yeah. Jamar Chase, man, that's an interesting player. A lot of people are passionate about him being the best receiver off the board. We'll see how it plays out. What you feeling about Kirk? P, you're on the clock, bro. You just timed out.
Oh shit!
Always over there yapping, bro. You got Marshawn Lloyd. You good? Yeah, what's your feeling about Kirk as wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville? I think we're going to see a lot of the same with him, like wide receiver 3-ish type value. I'm not excited about drafting Christian Kirk. I think Brian Thomas has the most upside in the offense.
Yeah. Brian Thomas is going to be the best. He definitely has the most upside. They're tied in, and then Kirk, in my opinion. Kirk is who he is.
JN, I picked JSN just based off of talent and didn't like the other picks there, but I have DK. Should I have drafted a guy like Keon Coleman or Brian Thomas? I just think JSN is too good not to draft here. No, I've talked about this before, and maybe not so much in half-point PPR, but I'm okay with drafting 2 receivers from the same team. Like, players have alternate weeks. You have duds no matter what. Just draft the best available and it's not like you have an entire team full of Seahawks, right? So you got DK. Who are your other receivers? I'm trying to find your squad right now. You got DK and you got DK, Cup, Jaden Reed, DeAndre Hopkins, and JSN, bro. You're stacked at receiver. Plus you have other talent, Pitts, Barkley, and Gibbs. So I don't think there's any issue with having 2 players from the same team, especially if not even both of them are starting for you.
But would you take? Would you take? So you like JSN more than you like BT Brian Thomas?
Yeah, I like JSN more. I
Really?
think Brian
Okay.
Thomas has upside to be better than JSN, but if I'm taking him right now, I'm taking JSN. You like Brian Thomas that much?
I like Brian Thomas a lot, bro. I really do.
Yeah.
I think not only is he like the prototype, I just think he's like he's connected to an underrated quarterback. I'm really high on Trevor Lawrence. They drafted him to be the number one there, and he's an efficient route runner. Not only is that he runs a 4.3. Not only that was he like 6'3". Yeah, bro, give him to me.
Yeah. All right, let me keep moving down some of these questions. Sorry, I'm gonna miss some of these questions, but we're just gonna go through them so we can get to some good talking points. P, I think Marvin is set up for success with a good mobile quarterback and number one option. I think Nico is an offense with too many options. I ain't mad at that take.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You think there's a real chance JK can dethrone Gus Bus based off of if the Achilles doesn't get in the way? No, I don't really see that. I think he's got to come back from that first. And players just don't look the same after Achilles injuries, man. They don't.
Yeah. And on top of that, I think they're high on that rookie running back they drafted.
Vidal or whatever, Kamani Vidal. We'll see. Gonna go down a little bit more. I see you, Cade. So you asked me, is the Dub Club not updated? So the Dub Club was updated, yesterday or 2 days ago? So yes, I had Chase over Brees and Saquon. Those guys are all similar tier. I don't really care. I've moved Chase down to show a little bit more respect to Brees Hall and Saquon, not as much as like this is exactly where I draft them. So on Friday will be the exact rankings. Friday. So I'm in the process of tweaking them. I gave you guys an early look on Dub Club. Early look. This is a really good point too. People are drafting these young guys over the old guys so much. It's like they think in a dynasty draft, like, no, it's PPR. It's only going to be 1 year. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's a really good point, man. It's like everybody wants to be first to get a player or first or on the scene or like I drafted this young guy before you. Like that shit doesn't matter. All you get, there's only one goal, and that's to win your damn league, man. Just win your league.
Yeah, and I think it's more of like, like the year that Jettas came out, right? Like I drafted Jettas in the back end of my draft, ended up dropping him before the season started, and he blew up, right? So people they may get that and then feel that, and they don't want to miss. So they want to, like you said, they want to be the next motherfucker to discover somebody. So
yeah. Everybody wants to be first, man. Said, don't rate my auto pick team. I'm ashamed. We won't rate it. We won't rate it, bro. We won't rate it. We won't rate it. We are going to rate these teams real quick, and then we'll get the next draft started. How do I got to pay to get rankings? If not, what do I find them? So right now, yes, you got to go to the Dub Club. If you want to see all the rankings, you got to go to the Dub Club right now. That's the way to get them. I'm sure at some point in August, I might do like a week free or something like that. I might give out some freebies or a ranking you can just download, but access to the Google Sheet with all the info and everything. And that thing's being constantly updated right now. That'll be on the rankings, or you got to pay to see that behind the Dub Club, or you got to watch the videos. I'll be dropping them at some point over the weekend. Are we forgetting what AJ Brown did for 8 weeks straight, 125 yards? Yeah.
He was eating. All right,
what
happened the last 8 weeks though?
Oh no, I think he was solid last 8 weeks. Let's look at AJ Brown. You took him in this draft too.
Yeah, I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying.
Let's see. That was the projection. That's the projection,
and then what he actually scored.
Yeah. So here. So over the last couple games, right here, 14, 19, 16, 10, 14, 9.3. He was all right. He was all right. He did have that stretch of games early though where he was cooking.
Look at that. Like, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600-yard games in a row. Bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Put some respect on that man name. P, go ahead and rank the squad, homie.
All right, let's get to these rankings, bruh. All right, Bijan number 1. I don't know, but somebody's got to know. All right, so you got Bijan, you got Kenneth Walker, Najee, Gus, and Eckler as your running backs. You got Debo, Diggs, and Pickens. You got Dubs, Thielen, and it falls off there. Quarterbacks, you got Kittle. I mean, the team's not bad. I've seen you draft better.
Half point PPR too. Does that change anything?
Half point PPR. to be honest with you, I think it's a strong team, but I think maybe if you got a better like a more studly QB who puts up numbers, then it would be better. In my opinion, I'll give it a flat 8,
Flat eight, I'll take it.
flat 8.
Aiden Lee. Aiden Lee. I know that's the hater version too. Aiden Lee. Aiden Lee. We got Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley with Watson and Myers. You got some good upside, good floor there.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, I like the running backs with Mostert and Brian Robinson. Good job. Got Lamar Jackson, Dallas Goedert, and Freiermuth. Good upside at tight end down there. This is a solid team, bro. This is probably gonna be one of the better teams in here. Lamar, yeah, bro. This is like probably 8.3 out of 10. That's a good job.
8-3.
Yeah, that's a good job.
Okay. Uncle E-Man. All right, you got CD, fell to the 3. CD Olave Neighbors, Hollywood and Johnson there. And you got Lockett and Polk, a nice little sleeper. People talking about him. You got D Henry's gonna go crazy with the TDs. McBride,
Yeah.
top 3 tight end. Stevenson, Singletary, Dobbins, and you got Purdy. I like this team. I think CeeDee Lamb and Henry are gonna carry you. I'll give this one an 8, an 8-1, right? Because I think it's very similar to your team, Jay, but I
Yeah.
think he's got the higher end QB in my opinion.
All right. All
I'll
right.
give it a flat 8.
Flat 8? You and your hater bag today, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Hey, 8 ain't bad, bro. 8 ain't bad.
Hey, 8s make playoffs. 8s make playoffs. Sonny G, this is the auto drafted team. Sonny G, I'm disappointed in you. I know you say you're never gonna let it happen again. We ain't gonna let that shit happen again, but I'm gonna still
Don't
rate
let
your
it
team.
slide.
Man. CMC, Josh Allen, Laporta, obviously paid for the premium for the positions. Tank Dell, Keenan Allen, Godwin. You'd like to see your receivers be a little bit better. Tony Pollard, Javante. So I'm gonna give you a pass on this one. This is like a 7.5 though. Maybe not even that. It's not that bad. It's like a 7.8. And it's you got some upside here. I've seen you draft better, so I'm gonna give you the pass because it was auto draft.
Yeah, I see. I feel you on that. All right. QB is Kyler Murray, Jordan Love. Wide receivers, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Amari Cooper. Solid. ETN and Pacheco, strong. You got my boy BT right there. This team's not bad. I would like to have a stronger wide receiver too, but overall, I think it's a pretty solid team with Ingram right there in a PPR, half point PPR. I don't know. I think that this is an. I think, yeah, I'm giving it another 8, bruh. It don't blow me out the water.
8s ain't hate.
8 ain't hate.
Check that private chat too, P. CMC later, we got Jefferson and Harrison with Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuels, they really get down there at the bottom. Devon Achane, Joe Mixon, Dave Montgomery, Trey Benson, decent running back core there, upside and floor. You got CJ Stroud, so you're heavy on these Texans. You got David Njoku at tight end. I feel like this is a solid team. Probably more like a 7.9 to me. If Achane and Harrison hit, though, you're going to have a monster squad. So only thing is if they do not hit, you might be in a little trouble. But that's why you play the game. I get this a 7.9. This isn't bad because I like how you did floor, I would say, with Jefferson, Mixon, Stroud, McLaurin, and you got the upside there early. So if your upside hits, that'll be a nice team.
All right, here we go. Strong wide receivers and your boy Lad McConkey making an appearance. All right, we got Jamar Chase, Brian.
Tyler in the chat. Tyler, what's good? Tyler in the chat.
We got Chase, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Lad, to round out your starting wide receivers, and then you got Cook, A. Jones, and Swift. I think you did well with getting Jones right there. Swift to back it up. Not as high on Cook, but you also got Joe Burrow, right? If he's fully healthy, I think this team is dangerous. I think Ferguson is a nice tight end that you can get a little bit later, who really has upside to creep to that top 3, not 3, maybe like top 5 tight ends. I like this team. You got Herbert backing it up. I'm gonna give this one an 8-3. I'm gonna give this team an 8-3. I think it's a really solid team from top to bottom. Oh, you got mine.
The highest score today, huh?
That's because I can't rate my own team.
because I damn sure ain't getting that no 8-3. I will be in my hater bag for sure on that one. All right, speaking of your team, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Higgins. I mean, the receiver core is strong with Jalen Hurts. Now you got James Conner, Jonathan Brooks, Nick Chubb. So I think 2 question marks at your RB2. Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd, your running backs. You'll have to be picking one up during the season. So obviously, I think you already know that. And then TJ Hawkinson will probably be back for the second half of the year. So I think that's a decent add there. Dalton Schultz, nice solid player until he gets back. This team is good. I think it's like an 8-2. It's like an 8-2. I love the receiving core, the running backs. You'll just have to be really aggressive and hope that Brooks or Chubb, one of them, can carry you to the championship in the and TJ Hawkinson will be there for you in the second half. But I don't mind. It's an 8-2. 8-2. I like the squad.
Stop the hate. Stop the hate. All right, let me get back to this tab here real quick. All right, Mexi Madden, you got Brees. Okay. You got Drake London. Nico. Okay. You got Smith, new offense. Let's see what he can do. Backed up by a strong QB. You snaked my TE1 right there, Kincaid. I think this is strong so far. Running back, your running back 2 is going to be Shaky Baby. Jalen Warren here is probably going to be starting for you. Not bad. You got, and then you got some backups. Pierce Burton. You got some rookie. You got Aaron Rodgers there. I think this team is strong. I'm going to give this team a solid. To be honest with you, especially in half-point PPR, I think that Kincaid is going to be a really strong player this year. I think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns.
You love Kincaid, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, he's going to be the number 1 option over there in Buffalo, bro. Trust when I say that.
I don't trust what you say. That's the problem. I don't.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that this team is solid. I think this team got players that are going to carry him, and I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8, and I want to say 8-3, but I'm going to give it an 8-2.
Whole lot of 8 to 8.5s in this draft. Y'all drafting solid in this. Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes. So you got that KC stack. Your receiving core. This is where I got some question marks, my man. Christian Kirk, Romo Dunze, Jordan Addison, and Rashee Rice. Yeah, we've talked about this at length here on the channel. You got to get 3 receivers in the first 6 rounds, bro. Otherwise, your receiving core just ain't up to par. So I kind of like the angle you were trying to take here. Unfortunately, I don't think you executed with the receivers. To me, this is like a 7-4. I don't like this at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like this team at all. There's receivers that just can't carry, bro, personally.
But I mean, you don't think his running backs are going to carry? His running backs is tight. I think he's elite everywhere else. Running backs, tight end.
So if Kyron in the second round, early second round, he has to hit now. He has to hit her. This team is out. I mean, you got Blake Corum there. You handcuffed it.
Yeah.
You got no upside, though, because now you need Kyron Williams to get hurt in order for Blake Corum to have any value on your team. Rashee Rice might be suspended for 8 games. Jordan Addison might be suspended. Romo Dunze is the wide receiver 3, and he's your wide receiver 2. Like, there's just no upside on this team at all. I mean, in Kyron, that's with Kyron hitting. There's no upside on this team. Kyron has to hit with this squad. Kelsey's older. Like, I don't know, man. I just personally,
what did you rate it? A 7 what?
7-4. 7-4. I think this is the worst team in here.
A 7-4.
This is the worst team in here. This is the worst team.
All right.
So far.
He got to get you, Ronald.
Oh, is that Ozempic P?
No, is that Ozempic P? No, I don't think that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. That was hilarious.
Crazy work. All right, my man, Yeet Man went crazy at wide receiver early. Puka, Wilson, Waddle. You got somebody who's going to be carrying the rock a lot in Rachaad White. Underrated tight end, Mark Andrews, and you got Zamir White and Zach Moss. Not as high on Zach Moss, but and then you get Dak Prescott late. I like this team, bro. I think that this team is going to be good, and I think I'm giving this team an 8. I'm giving this team an 8. I'm gonna give this team an 8-2.
8-2?
Yeah, I like this team. I think it's from top to bottom, it's solid. Yeah. I think you're going to be carried by your wide receivers. You're also going to get that unexpected help from your running backs. People are hating on Zamir White a lot. I'm actually higher on him. I think he could be really good this year, touchdown upside wise.
All right. And then last one, Toker Jones. We got Gibbs, Saquon, Chase Brown, and Kendrick Miller for some upside. You got DK, Cooper Kupp, Jaden Reed, DeAndre Hopkins, JSN, JMO, like great receiving core. I would love to see maybe one other running back in here outside of Chase Brown, but I think you did well, especially in a half-point PPR league, maybe one running back there. But overall, it's a great draft with Kyle Pitts. You got T-Law and Kirk Cousins down there. So you're great at quarterback. I really like this team, man. This is like an 8.2, 8.3 to me, too. I think you did a good
Yeah,
job with this team.
I think it's a strong team. It's deep. It's deep
All
at
right.
wide receiver.
Let us know if you agree in the comments with the rankings. We're going to be starting our next draft here.